Hi y'all, thank you for coming to my channel. Well, if any of you have seen some of my other videos, I was house hunting, been going through the hell of house hunting, and I never thought it would be like a horrible experience, but I always thought it would be like the funnest, most amazing thing to go look at houses and, trying to pick out the one you want. But it's been an ordeal. It's been horrible. And no, I did not get the house. Well, actually, I did. I got approved for the house, or like a dream house that I called it. It was an old house from the 20s, and a company bought it. They refixed it, remodeled it, refurbished it, or whatever you want to call it. And it had like 8 and 10 foot ceilings with some molding and stuff on the ceilings, and it had 2 large bedrooms and then a small third little bedroom, which was kind of like a child's bedroom, but I would use it for like an office or library, or to make, videos and stuff. It had perfect natural light and all this stuff. I got approved for the house, and it had a huge front porch, one of the ones with the columns on the porch, goes all the way across the front of the house. Got approved for it. And then the I guess he's the guy from the rental agency, whatever you call it, property management, I guess. He called me or texted me, he told me I got approved for it, but there's a problem with the dogs. And so I called him, and he said, yes, I can approve you for the house, but the owner wants to know if you have a place to put your dogs. And I was like, no. I mean, do you have a place to put your kids? I mean, one of my dogs I've had for 15 years. He's old, and he's, he probably won't live much longer. And I'm not going to place him somewhere else. He's going to stay with me, and I want to take care of him until, his last moment. And I'm not going to put him somewhere else. And my other dogs, too, I haven't had them that long, not as long as him, but I'm attached to them. And the house had a huge backyard and had, a lot of room, compared to our little house that we live in now. And they could roam around. They could have a lot more freedom. It would be, the house is for them just as much for me. Renting a house for my dogs, but I'm going to live there too. That's the way I see it. And so I was like, no. So I didn't get the house because of my dogs. And they told me before that they allowed dogs. But then the rental agent told me that, yeah, they allow dogs with a deposit. I think it was like, I can't remember. It was ridiculous, like $400 or something, $300 or $400 for each dog. And I was like, okay, I can pay that. And then, a few days later, he texts me that, the owner doesn't want dogs in there. And I think the main reason is because I have 2 pit bull mixes. And I think that was why. It was, breed discrimination. And my dogs are not the friendliest. I got one of them in the pandemic, and I couldn't take her anywhere. It was in the most severe part of the lockdown. And there's only a few places, food and grocery stores and places like that were open at limited times. So I couldn't take her anywhere to socialize her with people, because I usually take all my dogs to, like, I don't know, Home Depot and Jibo's, and there's several other, I don't remember off the top of my head, a lot of places that I take my dogs so that they get used to people. And I couldn't do that with her for probably not even, she was probably 7 or 8 or 9 months by the time some of these stores opened back up. Or some of them were on very limited use. They had lines. You could only come on certain days for certain things and stuff like that. So I really didn't need anything from Home Depot and stuff. I don't know. She's not real friendly. And my other older dog, he was super friendly when I first got him. He was so sweet. And I would take him everywhere with me. And then at about a little over a year, he got attacked by this other small little dog, bit part of his ear off and bit him and made scars on him. He's a huge dog, like 95 pounds. But he was terrified of this little dog. And then he it was my dog, my other dog, and I was trying to get them used to each other. But my other little dog was super dominant, and he would, get my pit bull on the ground and make him roll over, and he would stand on his chest, and I'd get off him, and I'd have to separate him, and he was real mean to him, but my pit bull loved him so much, but until that day, I don't know where the other piece of the ear went because I never found it. So I think he ate it. But my dogs, I'm not putting them somewhere, and so they're not friendly. They're, I live by myself, and they're part of my security system. They're the main part of my security system. And then I have my chihuahuas, which are like noise makers. They can't really hurt you, but they will make a lot of noise. And then I also applied for another house. They said I could have dogs there, but when they found out it was pit bulls, I don't know. Well, there might be another house here that we might have for you. And I've gone through this with several houses already. And trying to get them to call me back. When I was younger, you just went to the house. They had a sign there. This is pre cell phone and all this. And you just showed up at the person's house and you talked to the person, and they decided right then and there, do they want to rent it to you? And you'd write them a check, and you had a house within like 30 minutes. And I've only paid a dog deposit 2 times in my life, only for 2 apartments that I've had. All the other houses I've ever had, I've never had to pay a dog deposit, even with pit bulls. And I've had pit bulls for over 30 years. And it's just been an ordeal. And there's so many people that have dogs, and there's so many houses that I've looked at or seen, haven't even gone to look at them, but I've seen them on the internet that they look wonderful, and I like them. Then I get down, it says no pets in all caps, or no dogs, or breed restriction, no aggressive breeds, or a pound restriction, not over 25 pounds or something like that, or only 2 dogs allowed. And it's just been really hard trying to find a house that will let me have my dogs. And I'm in a pretty good budget, not nowhere near expensive, but not at I can afford more to pay rent now than I ever could in my life. And so I do want to live somewhere nice. And I've always lived in small, tiny little places. And now I can afford, a 2 or 3 bedroom house. I have a lot of furniture now. I have tons of stuff. It's all in storage and just waiting for me to get a house. And so it's been just an ordeal. And I hate it. And it really ruined my happy thoughts of, house hunting, this is going to be so fun. It's not. It's horrible. It's awful. And so I'm just, I left like probably 7 or 8 messages Friday, Saturday, Sunday at these rental places. Not a single one of them texted me or called me back today. Trying to get them, when you relay a message to them, trying to get them to call you back is, like pulling teeth. I get no, radio silence, just nothing. I get nothing back from them. It's like you have to hound them and hound them and hound them to get their attention. And I did find one other house in the small little town that I live in, and actually I kind of like this little house, so I'm going to try and see. That's the one that I left like 4 messages for over the weekend. So they may be sick of me calling, but I didn't call them today. I waited, and I was going to see who calls me back first. And it's just not a pleasant experience at all, And I'm just kind of heartbroken, I guess, because I actually got approved for that house. It was beautiful, amazing, the most beautiful house of it, in my budget. And but then my dogs, at the last second they tell me that. And this is after they take an application fee. And I've paid for 2 application fees, but now I've been very, very adamant of, do you allow dogs? I have pit bulls. I'm not going to pay the deposit or the application fee if you don't take them. Let me know now, and they need to be more upfront with that, because some of them are very, they have it in all caps, no pets. They absolutely don't want to have pets. That's great. But if they're considering pets, then they need to be very adamant about which ones or what before they take your money, So now I'm having to play this game with them. I'm not going to pay for an application unless I know absolutely if the dogs are not going to be the thing that, disqualifies me. I'll pay the application fee but not, if you already aren't going to accept them, then just tell me now, But they try to play this game with you I don't know, it's ridiculous, Well, that's just a huge ordeal, stress thing that I'm going through right now. And I think I'm going to take a week or so off, or if anybody calls me, whatever, then I'll look at the house. But I'm not going to look at any more. I'm not going to search for any more for a while. I might even wait another month and just collect another paycheck and see, I don't know, whatever comes out of it. But hope y'all are having a good day. And thank you. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you so much.